Can you believe that Chuck Schumer said this?
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown.
What?
There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed.
Why are we looking at polls? Who cares? Facts, please. There's no bias here, Chucky. It's called common sense, something you haven't had for a very long time.
That poll is biased.
That poll came from the New York Times, and let's be real, if that was actually a biased poll, it would not be in our favor. And the American people don't care about polls. Let's talk about the facts. The reason that this is still hung up is because you, the Democrats, continue to keep pushing for illegals to have health care. And the Republicans are not budging, as they shouldn't. It's for Americans only. Stop with your anti-American agendas, Chuck. Why don't you let someone else sit in that seat that actually wants to work for America?
It's in the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the...
Those chuckles didn't leave beyond Capitol Hill, and we, the ordinary people, don't find this funny.
How do you think this shutdown reflects on Chuck Schumer's leadership?
Well, I think it reflects more on Mike Johnson's leadership and President Trump's leadership. This is a leadership which said it's okay to give well, how do you feel? You tell me. Think it's a good idea to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the richest people in the country and then make massive cuts to health care for working class people?
I think Chuck Schumer has voted for continuing resolutions 13 times in the last 4 years, and he has the opportunity to vote for one again, but he's refusing to come to the table.
Well, I think, look.
The Democrat government shutdown, right? No government employee is getting paid, except for them, Congress, both Democrats and Republicans. We know that all the Republicans have already signed on to get this bill passed.
Yes, you might be thinking that is all. Watching Jimmy the other day, he is blaming Republicans. I don't know if this guy is actually a mouthpiece for these people. Taking a look at this, Jimmy blames the Schumer shutdown on Republicans, yet Democrats are the vote needed to get to 60 to pass funding. He blamed J6 on Republican, yet Democrat cheated, and Kimmel is not funny, nor accurate. That is the truth. Sometimes I don't like to get information from these people, but when I see it, it is just important we react and move on. For days now, Jimmy is doing this, blaming Republicans for what is going on, which we all know that is not true.
Republicans have been appealing to audiences, especially young people like myself, online using social media. Why does Republican messaging on social media seem so much more effective than Democratic messaging, and what can we do about it?
Well, that's a great question. I think the Republicans are effective. They have learned a lot about social media. And by the way, it doesn't hurt that their friends own all of the major social media platforms. You know, Bezos owns Twitter or X. Zuckerberg owns Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. Mr. Ellison is going to own you pretty soon. I think he's going to take over CNN, not to mention CBS. So these guys have, you know, they can use algorithms to help.
And it is clear to communicate that as an individual. Now, to the question earlier as well, when they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been...
What is he talking about? Jeff Bezos own X or Elon Musk? I don't get it. Is Benny even understanding what he's talking about? Yeah, going into what he's saying here, that's nothing but the truth. Republicans are everywhere on social media. No matter how they attack, they are able to stand there and have a debate. Democrats don't do that.
Now, to the question earlier as well, when they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, that they do not deserve equal rights, that they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman, that they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. And that is why they are resonating online, because they are appealing to the most basest and worst parts of human nature to divide us. And why to divide us? So that the same people who own those platforms, people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, that these people can continue to get away with highway robbery in tax cuts and in order to fleece all of our pockets, cut our health care, keep our wages low so that we remain fighting amongst ourselves while they make themselves richer. And so in order for us to fight back against that, we must be clear about what we believe, have strong beliefs, and also be completely unwilling to bow to that kind of division and stand in solidarity with one another, especially when it is someone whose culture is different from ours or whose background we may not entirely understand, but that we honor, love, and see as our fellow Americans.
It is actually funny to see these people talk this way. Years ago, Trump was banned on Facebook, Instagram, right? Same Twitter. Yeah, everything was controlled by the Democrat. When Trump came in, they now struggled to appease to him. For a very long time, Democrat control everything. These people on social media. Just these few months, they started adjusting. They are here talking this way. It's insane. Now, Democrats are panicking. There is something going on. Even this guy on CNN notices that.
Along with the government shutdown, every day now is a federal holiday. We're on day 13 with no end in sight. A majority of Americans blame Republicans for the shutdown. Republican leaders are still trying to blame Democrats for the shutdown, even though they control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
2018, right? Because that's sort of the baseline. That was, of course, the first Trump term. That was where Democrats were sort of keeping pace. You go back to April, look at the generic congressional ballot. What you see? You see +3 Democrats in 2025 in April. You see +3 Democrats back in April of 2017. Now jump over to this side of the screen. What happens? Well, the Democrats are no longer keeping pace with the pace that they were setting back in 2017, 2018. You look back in 2017, you saw that the Democrats had leaped up to an 8-point advantage. I remember covering this. I remember a lot of folks, including myself, saying, you know what, Republicans look pretty decent right now in terms of the fact that they had the House, they had the Senate, they had the presidency, but things were likely going to flip. And I was looking for the same signs this year. The bottom line is it hasn't happened, Kate Ball. When it hasn't happened, Democrats have stayed basically steady. They have fallen off the pace. Democrats were way out ahead back in 2017 on the generic congressional ballot. And now we're basically looking at Democrats ahead. But again, they are so far in back of the pace that they set back there. And so I think what a lot of folks are seeing, folks like myself, are saying, wait a minute, given what we might be seeing.
Looking at things, Democrats are in hot water. Yeah. As they struggle to continue to play games, I believe you've seen what is going on here on CNN. Impressive, right? I will not make the video long. I want to end here. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly.
And right now, public servants are under attack. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's been politicized in a way that is unprecedented. Correct. I am living in a world where we have internment camps.
Yes.
And as of the short clips, that is for the YT algorithm.
Have to give your respect. Even if it's not yours.
There's nothing in the world.
Finally did something positive today, and I want to give him credit for it.
Sequential moments in history.
When I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire. Yeah. If he does hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show.
He even gets an auditor counting on me.
If the Democrats shut down the government,
Donald Trump takes advantage of the situation and begins to, I don't know, trim programs Democrats care about.
Because how many times somebody asks?
4.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American...
Give interviews, I don't do that.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama.
Is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one. Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not all the same people that are in these polite...
Disagree with what Gavin Newsom said, that he doesn't...
Dave Chappelle, he's not wrong.
I think that what she has done... Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. Strongly should feel
What do you disagree with out of interest?
Best signatures of... Stupid, angry, dopey, dumb.
What a day for Donald.